Welcome to the Discussion Lab, the show where we talk about issues that make us tick as people. I am your host, Sami Moore.
How do you make decisions on your own? Do you have a system of making decisions? Do you think you can make good decisions on your own? Well, I would share with you how I make my choices and certain decisions I've made in my life. Over the course of time and over the course of years, I have developed about 3 systems that I use to make certain decisions in life. And most of the time, I don't only use one of these 3, right? Sometimes I interlace them together. Sometimes I pick and choose from which one that I think works best for me. And I don't think I developed any one of these on my own. I think over the years, I've listened to hundreds of podcasts, read a couple of books. And so these are things that I pick the ideas from and I mold them to fit my own. The first method that I use when I have to make a decision is a simple method of flipping a coin. Yes, flipping a coin. Sometimes that's really what I use to make a choice. When I'm stuck between 2 options and I don't know what to do, I really tell myself, okay, choice A is for heads, choice B is for tails. And I really flip the coin, and whichever one that it falls on, I take that one. Now, let me tell you instances where this is good. I use the flip the coin method when the impact of these decisions I have to make, it's not really huge. Example would be sometimes when I go out with friends, we are at a bar or at a restaurant to eat, and I have to pick a food off the menu to eat. I used to have a very bad habit of picking a menu off the menu. And sometimes my friends would get a bit pissed that I take so long. It was an instance where one of my female friends actually told me, "You take so long to decide on a food like you are my girlfriend." Yes, one of my female friends actually made that comment to me. And it was funny, but I was a bit head like, really, do I take that long? And so when I came across this concept of flip the coin, that's what I began to use. So when it's certain choices like making a decision on which food to eat, which attire should I wear, these things have very minimal impact on my life or for the month. And so I easily just pick a shirt. A is this head, shirt B is this, and I flip a coin, and whichever one it falls on, I stick to it. Now, over the course of doing this, what I've learned is just in that instance where the coin really falls in my palm, sometimes I would wish that it would fall on option A or B. And in those moments, I feel like, okay, those are the options that I am really in tune with at that moment. And so that is one of the methods that I use, flipping the coin. The second method that I use is what I call the worst case scenario. And I use this one when I normally have to make certain choices, certain decisions that have like a mid-term effect, right? That would probably affect me for a couple of days or weeks or a month-ish, right? Maybe 2 months, sometimes even 3 months. And in this instance, I would use the worst case scenario. Let me explain to you. There was a point where I was extremely shy and I was seeing a speech therapy. So I have a stammer still, so you might have picked it up here and there. And there was a point I was seeing a speech therapy. And this speech therapy, one of the tasks that I had to do with a speech therapy is really to go out and talk to strangers outside. People I don't know, just to ask them simple things like, can you point me to the direction of the train station? Or can you point me to the direction of the bus stop, or anything that you would normally ask a stranger? And it was so difficult for me to do back then. When I met with her, one of the things I told her was, it's so difficult for me to do. And she told me, what is the worst thing that a stranger could possibly do to you during the day at a train station when there are a couple of hundreds of people? And that was my aha moment. And so in the next couple of times that I had to try this again, before I talk to any stranger, I asked myself, what is the worst thing this person could do to me in the open space with other people around? And I would literally picture the worst thing this person would do. Really, I would picture even sometimes the person harming me. Sometimes I would picture the person perhaps even spitting on me. And once I could come up with a worst case scenario in my head, and I had an idea how I would deal with it, because if I know that you could help me, I would kind of make sure there's a gap between us, right? A distance between us when I approach you. And that helped me, because with that, now that I'm prepared for the worst case scenario, I could easily now go and talk to the stranger and practice me talking to strangers when I was seeing the speech therapy. I have used this concept in so many ways now in my life, and I still use it. There have been moments in my life when I was seeking for a career mentor, and I was very shy about it. I didn't know how to go about it. And I asked myself, what is the worst thing that could possibly happen? I would ask the person I think I want him or her to be my mentor. And the worst thing they could say at that instance is, no, I don't have the time, or I don't think I'm the right person for you. That was the worst thing. And so once I had that concept in my head, the worst case scenario, what is the worst thing that could possibly happen? I will think about it and brace myself for the worst case scenario. And that really helped me make decisions or move on, right? So when I had to make decision or take a step, that was one of the things that really helped me happen, because I was always afraid of the unknown. And so I'll try to come up with the worst case unknown instance that I could possibly think of, and that helped me a lot. Now, the third method that I use to make decisions is what I call the 10-year pride test. Yes, 10 years pride test. Let me break it down a bit for you. When I had to make certain decisions in my life, right, in the past, and I still use this method now, I still use all three anyways in my life. When I had to make certain decisions in my life, I would ask myself, would my future self, my future 10-year self, be proud of this decision I'm making now? Yes, I know that was a big ask of myself, but that really prevented me from doing a lot of bad things, right? And so I remember there were instances where I was with friends and I was being influenced to go and drink and go and smoke, teenage guy growing up. And when I had a moment, a split second to myself, I had practiced this so much that it would pop up in my head, will your future 10 years self be proud of this moment? And when the answer was no, I was almost always able to find a way to get out of the instance. I've used this, it has even affected me with the people that I chose to date in my past life, right? So if I met any person, yes, you are preaching now, yes, you are fun to be with now, but I had an idea of who I wanted to be 10 years from almost any point in my life. I asked myself, will the 10-year future me be proud of this person I'm going to date now? It affected me in the career path that I picked. It has affected, I use this decision in my dating life. Even when I decided to have a life partner, I asked myself this decision. Will the future me in 10 years be proud of the decision I am making now? So these are the three methods or ways that I easily go through quickly to make a choice. I use the flip the coin method. This is normally for a short instance when I have to make a decision for a short instance. What food I should pick when I go to a restaurant for a menu? What outfit, what attire should I wear? So this is what I use, the flip the coin method. The second one is the worst case scenario. And I normally use this for what I say the mid-term, right? The effect will be a bit of a mid-term. Like if I want to date someone or what career that I should pick and stuff like that, right? I think that would affect me from a couple of days to maybe a year or two. I use the worst case scenario. I ask myself, what is the worst thing that could possibly happen? And then the last method that I use is the 10-year pride test, right? Would I be proud of myself? Will my future self be proud of myself with the decision I'm making now? Now, in practicing these things, I have found that it has a few side effects on me. And so I will share some of the few side effects with you. The first side effect is it has actually helped me to understand and distill my own the values. How is this the case? Anytime I was using the worst case scenario, I had to ask myself, will I be able to stand this worst case scenario? And so in the process of kind of going through this, I realized some things were worth the worst case scenario, some things were not worth it at all. And so it prevents me from doing certain things or making certain choices, right? And so it really helped me understand my core values. The other thing was, it also helped me to control my fears. How, you may ask? When I was using the worst case scenario against, I have realized that almost never, and I've been using this for almost 10 years now, barely ever has my worst case scenario ever happened, ever. No one has harmed me when I was asking them for help. No one has actually spat on me when I was seeking them for help, or when I was thinking whether I should decide to ask anyone for help. No one has driven me out or even gone around spreading extremely dangerous stuff about me. And so what it has helped me is control my fears. The worst case scenario instance has really helped me to calm my thought down. Like, yes, my brain can travel all around, but really, barely does any of these things happen. The other thing is also that it has helped me is to break down complex decision making down over time. This, I would say, really ties down to the 10-year pride test, because if I would ask myself later, why would 10-year future me not be proud of this choice that I had to make? Why would it be proud of me that I decided to seek this person to be a mentor to me now? Why would it be proud of me to not smoke or not drink at certain instances, right? And so in the process, I've had to ask myself certain questions, and also I've gotten better at asking questions. Another thing it has helped me with is to trust my gut feelings and my instincts. Because I have been making certain decisions with these 3 methods that I've shared with you, I've really got to trust my instincts. Over time, my instincts are able to quickly make the decision even now without me going through these things, because it is kind of interlaced with my thinking process. Would my future self be proud of this? What's the worst case scenario that could potentially happen? And then if I flip a coin, just in the instance where the coin falls in my palm, what option am I leaning more towards to, right? So this has helped me. And the last thing that this has helped me was really to learn from my past decision-making mistakes. Sometimes I realized that I may not have analyzed things well, and I missed certain information, and I made certain mistakes. And so with that, I've gotten better with time. I've been able to learn over time how to make decisions. I'm sharing with you how you can make certain choices, certain decisions, if you're not very good at making them. And so I hope that you've learned from this episode. And getting to the end, at the end of the day, I want to tell you that decision making is a skill. Like most things on earth is a skill. Some people are per nature just very quick with it. Others like me had to build it over time. Now I tend to believe I fairly make good decisions using these 3 methods that I've developed over time. And so it is a skill that you can build over time. Start making decisions on your own. At least try these 3 methods. See the one that best fits your scenario, your instance, and use it. Gradually, you get better with time, as with every skill. And the last thing is, don't worry about trivial things, right? We all make mistakes. You can never know the future. What I've learned to do is learn to relax and have fun a bit. I have made decisions that I thought I analyzed it well, and in future, it had not really turned out to be good. But I look back and I'm not hard at myself anymore, because I realized that I made the best decision given the information and the knowledge I had back then. And so I've learned to relax, take things slow, and realize that life happens. You never always make the best decisions, but at least with me using these 3 decision-making methods, I know that I did the best I could, and we are all human. We all make mistakes. But hey, what do I know? I am just a naive observer, and we all make mistakes. Peace out.